And we are live. Oh my goodness, boys and girls, I haven't done a live on Facebook in a long time. And what is the subject? What is the topic for today's live? Joining me here from beautiful Slovenia. And in the background, we've got some Croatian translation going on as well.
And Slovenian too.
And
Slovenian too.
Slovenian, of course, Slovenian
Of
and
course.
Croatian, because Slovenia is the topic of the hour. I have to tell you a little story. So
Tell us.
I've been coming to Europe for classes for a long time, and I keep meeting these like really enthusiastic, amazing, hardcore fans. And they would be like, I've come to meet you. I've come to join your class from Slovenia. And I'm like, cool. I don't even know where that is. But what are we doing now? In about a week's time, we're having a class in Slovenia, and I'm so excited. So
Woohoo!
I'm sorry. I'm
Yay!
doing a terrible job of introducing you guys. So why don't you introduce yourselves? Ta-da!
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Hi, everyone. I am Maria, and I'm from Slovenia. I'm hosting this class that Chris has so in depth talked about so far. And we have also Masha Plasnik with us. She is the my co-host. We're hosting together, and we were the ones that were like very, very, very pushing, not pushing, but like we were pushy. We were like
Pulling!
pulling. We were pulling Chris. Come, Chris, come to Slovenia. We will not take no for an answer. So
Yes. And
And
he's
I'm
coming.
I am coming. Thank you so much, Masha and Maria, for your very gently insistent invitation, and I'm thrilled to be coming. I have no experience of Slovenia. This will be my first time, so be gentle. I'm a virgin, first of all. And what are we going to do? What is this class even that we're talking about? It is part of a specialty with Access Consciousness called The Truth About Sex. And the class title is In the Beginning, dot, dot,
there
dot.
was.
And in the
There
beginning,
was.
in Slovenia, the first time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow, yeah. So we're all virgins basically because it's all
Yes.
it's in Slovenia for the first time. Yeah.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
we
mhm.
will be talking about virgins. Kidding.
Yes. We will be sacrificing virgins, hopefully.
Hopefully. But it's basically it's that's the energy that I'm so enthusiastic about with regards to in the beginning the class in the beginning there was sex. Cuz sex is usually like people are there's so much judgment and so much seriousness and avoidance and like shame connected to this topic for people, and it's so refreshing for you to talk about it in a fun and light way, and just making it light, funny, and so the enthusiasm of it all.
Yeah.
Can you say more about that, please?
Well, you hit on so many of the key topics of what we tend to address and talk about and where most people are when it comes to sex, because I think next to money, sex is probably the most like judged topics on the planet. And money is similar to sex in that people are obsessed with it. And they spend so much time like thinking about it and worrying about it and hating it, but also wanting it. And with sex, there's this whole thing where if you're having no sex, you're wrong and you judge yourself. And if you're having too much sex, you're wrong and you judge yourself. And there's this like this spot in the middle that everyone's trying to find, but no one knows what it is, where it's enough sex, but only under certain circumstances. See, you won't be judged for having sex if you're married and you're in love and children are produced. Those are the only excuses people have for sex. The idea that you could have a sexual reality that works for you and have no point of view about it is completely foreign. Like, I guess that's where I'm a weirdo. For me, sex is about kindness and generosity and joy and presence. And I don't, I really don't care whether I'm having tons of sex or no sex because it's got to be a choice and it's got to be for me and the other people involved, if that makes sense.
It does.
Can
That's
Mm.
I
very
ask something?
beautiful.
You
Yes.
mentioned money before. I noticed when I'm married, so I'm allowed to have sex.
Mhm. Yep.
And I
But
have kids,
wait,
so
Masha, wait. Because do you know most married people, depending on how long they've been married, most married people have sex twice a year.
well, I'm married for 18 years and I'm doing it a lot. So
Yay!
I can wait for your class and for you, so you will like expand this energy. My question was about money. You mentioned money before, and I noticed when I have more sex with my husband, I have more money. So is
Mhm.
it like connected somehow?
Yes. Yeah. Gary, the founder of Access Consciousness, some of you out there listening to this might have heard of him. He always was trying to show me this. And because Gary and I have another business that we run together where we buy and sell antiques. And he was always teasing me because quite often, if the shop was not doing well, he'd say, go have sex. And I'd be like, you're the best boss ever. You're like, go get laid. And every time I had sex, my financial reality increased and we would sell a whole bunch of things at the store and things would just happen again and move. See, for most people they get stressed about life. You know, they worry about their business or they worry about whatever, all kinds of things. And so sex gets put aside. It gets considered not a priority because you need to deal with the serious things of living and life. Um, but when you stop and allow yourself to be present and enjoy your life, which is what great sex generally is about, and
Mm.
also receive, everything else in your life just starts working better. So, to answer your question, sex and money do have some things in common in it, and that baseline common energy between them is receiving.
Mhm.
However, I say that with a little bit of like reservation because the problem is a lot of people have taken money and sex and receiving and made them the same thing, and they're not actually the same, but there is some elements that they all share because some like receiving is a big topic, especially for anyone out there who have explored classes with access. um, Receiving is a huge topic, and a lot of us seem to think that receiving is what we're bad at. It's something that's not our strong suit. And we look at people that have a lot of money or that have a lot of sex and go, oh, well, they're obviously willing to receive more. No, not necessarily. Sometimes those people are willing to have more sex and they're willing to have more money, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're willing to receive. Receiving is not the stuff we get and the opportunities that arrive in our life. Receiving is our willingness to be vulnerable and present and allow in all of the energies that are out there and available. For me, sex is and does facilitate receiving. And so money is tends to be a byproduct of the sex that I have, but that's not true for everyone. It can be true, but not a lot of people are choosing it.
Thank you for this. Thank you so much for putting it in these terms, because there's a lot of people that do receive, but they don't really like. They're not so sexually active, and they think they're wrong because they're not. Like you started talking about people in marriages that they have sex twice, maybe a year. Can you expand on that as well? Because it's like usually that's a common thing with marriages, and then also probably ties into the receiving part, right?
Yeah. Well, with a lot of couples, they've been together so long that issues have started to build up, and communication maybe doesn't work very well, and people have basically decided who their partner is. And one of the things that tends to get cut off from partners, especially in longer term marriages like that, is you stop wanting to receive from that person. And because you're no longer willing or interested in receiving from them, the sex dries up and disappears. So this takes us back to like Masha's question as well. With great sex, receiving is required. And when you're not willing to receive, usually having sex with them is the last thing you want to do. So
Yeah.
that yeah tends to happen. Like the statistics are that for most people, they only have really great sex and consistent frequent sex the first 6 weeks to 6 months. And then it starts to disappear because once you get past that honeymoon period, people start to resent each other rather than enjoy each other, and are less willing to gift to one another. Now, the other thing though is, and this goes back to the receiving topic. I could talk about this forever. I'm all over the place. But
You will be able to when you're in Slovenia.
I
So
can
yeah,
wait for the class.
yes.
so
Receiving, most people don't want to receive for one simple reason. See, receiving doesn't mean that you have to have sex with somebody, but most people think it does mean that. Like, you will not receive an energy from somebody, a partner of many years or otherwise. You won't receive from them because you think if you do, you're going to have to deliver something. It's going to
mhm.
cost you. For anybody out there who does struggle with this, this is like here. If all you got from us was attending this live, and you didn't even choose to come to the class in Slovenia or online, you can attend from anywhere. I'd love to give everyone out there this one question that you can ask yourself, and you might listen to this and go, "What? What is he talking about?" But ask yourself, what have I decided receiving is going to cost me? Most people have receiving as a
Wow.
transaction.
Mm.
They think that if they receive, they're going to have to pay for it. You know, when I was in Croatia earlier this year, I met a guy who I was crazy about this dude. He was amazing. And he could not receive for shit. Is he every time I tried to do something for him or give him something or whatever, he would go, "Well, what are the strings attached?" And that's where most people live. Most people assume receiving is going to cost them. And when you think receiving is going to cost you, you also tend to go, then I don't want sex.
Mm.
That's where most people live.
Yes, and while you're touching on this topic as well, I heard you say somewhere once, but not once, more times, that the first encounter they have with sex is usually one form of abuse, and that's also something that probably they're used to receiving abuse, but not really knowing what receiving can be, like
Mm,
what is available to receive.
yeah, Absolutely. Most people's, and even if it wasn't abuse, because we do all have this like origin story, and that's something that we'll go into in the class. We do have this origin story around sex. For some people, it was abuse. For some people, it was this strange education where all they were taught about was disease, menstruation, and pregnancy. They were told about what could go wrong with sex, and very few people were introduced to sex from the point of view of pleasure, from the point of view of kindness. And that to me is so strange. So, most of us on the planet, our origin story with sex is weird and not what sex is actually about. Like, what we see in presented in the media of what sex is not what I see it as. To me, sex is about healing, and it's about generosity, and it's about peace. And that's truly the energy of it. But then we're presented with these lessons from our cultures and our religions. We are presented with pornography. We're presented with the whispers in the schoolyard. And we go, oh, sex is bad and naughty, and I could get sick from it. And it's like, hang on. No, let's erase all of that education and start with a totally blank canvas of what sex could be.
Mm.
And make sure whatever you're choosing sex to be, it actually works for you. Because I said it before, even if you're not having much sex or any sex, you're not wrong no matter what. A lady came to me and she said, I'm embarrassed to ask this question, but maybe you can help me. I said, what? She said, well, I've never had sex and I'm in my 50s. And I said, so what? She went, you don't you don't think that's wrong? And I said, no. Do you want to have sex? She went, no. I went, great. It's your life, your body. You get to choose. But few people are choosing from what's true for them and truly their own point of view. They're like navigating all of these projections of what everyone tells them they're supposed to value and supposed to choose, and they never get to find out what's real for them. Sorry, that was a bit of a tangent from your question about origin stories, but
No, it's actually amazing because you addressed all the questions in my head. So thank
And
you.
mine also. So this is
And
all we are gonna do in class, right?
yeah,
Allowance, receiving,
yep,
yeah, and
nurturing.
allowance, receiving, getting people past the judgment and the fear and the shame and the guilt and all of those things, and giving everyone permission to find out what's true for them.
thank
Amazing.
you. That is amazing. I also want to add something with regards to Chris. I've attended a few of these classes with you, Chris, and I was one of those people that was like not educated. I was basically, what I through experience and through maybe reading and not really having information and not really having experience that will be rewarding, and the energies that you were talking about, the healing and the nurturing and the kindness and the joy, my experiences were basically more or less abuse, even though I didn't know that, and I thought this is how it's supposed to be, and I had a lot of confusion in my world with regards to myself and my reality, um, what's right, what's wrong, what I should be doing or not doing. And then the beautiful thing with you, Chris, is attending your classes. You have this. You are basically the space of allowance, and you don't have judgment. And really, this for me is so healing. It opens up. It really opens up the space where we can get in touch with ourselves and with our reality, and we can be allowance. We start to be allowance with ourselves as well, and we can touch on topics and questions and things that we would never talk about either otherwise anywhere else. And that is for me is really beautiful about you. And thank you. I'm really excited for you about you coming to Slovenia and having this that we can explore this, because now in the beginning when I start, like when I first attended a class, I had these confusions and fear and shame and all that stuff and judgments. And now it's more this space of exploring, let what we can create together, what fun we can have, and like what is possible. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's very kind of you to acknowledge me in that way. And honestly, though, it's really humbling for me to be there and do that for people, because when we do these classes, the honesty and the vulnerability that people end up choosing, it's so inspiring. Like, I had a lady, we did this class in Rome in June, and it was full on. It was so cool. Actually, a Slovenian lady came,
Yeah.
and she was like sitting there shaking the whole time, going, "What am I doing here? What is going on?" And it was amazing. And a woman called me 5 months after the class or something, and she said, "Thank you." And I went, "You're welcome." What? She said, "Finally, I can have orgasms with my partner." And I went, "Awesome." And all we really did was talk about these judgments and fears and shame and control and this whole program that we've already mentioned around receiving. And as we started to undo all that and dismantle it, the changes in people's lives, it's so humbling for me. Like, I'm proud to create this and contribute it, and also getting to see it in people and watch them choose it. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you for
And we
being
are
for
very
us.
grateful. Yeah, we are very grateful for this. And that's why also we're so happy that you're coming to Slovenia, so we can have more of that. Is at
Yay.
least start exploring it. Yay.
How much fun are we gonna have?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yay.
Yay.
So cool.
So thank you so much. So for everyone that would like to know more, we will post links and information where you can find out more. When you can contact, if you're interested in the class, you can contact either Masha or me or Chris's team, and we will be happy to help you out with any logistic or detail or otherwise.
And the class is
Yay.
next week till
Next
16
weekend.
January till 18 January. Yes, weekend.
Yeah,
So
and it's
come.
really coming fast, and it's in Intercontinental in Ljubljana. So yes, come join us. Thank you, Chris.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys so much. Mwah.
Mwah.
Bye, everybody.